He hanore, he karoria, ki te atua. When I first came down to fish, every season, say the karakia first, the prayer first, put the net in, the first lift went back into the river. And the same at the end of the day, say the karakia again, give thanks for the whitebait we've got. Nā inanga. My name's Hilda Tainui, but I am better known as Auntie Tilly. I started fishing with my father in the 1940s. Oh, it was lovely. Used to be lovely. 4 other sisters used to fish whitebait in there, Arahura. Always got some.
My name's Mary Hilda Tainui, and I suppose I was fishing with my father from when I was 5 years old until I was about 45, 40 odd years. Well, the Arahura River, no park is allowed to fish in it. It's just more or less a family river. Fishing was just handed down from family to family,
Once I remember coming down here and there was a great big eel. Maxie Duncan's my name. I arrived in South Westland in 1939. Landed on the Bruce Bay beach in an aeroplane. And old Mrs. Condon used to say, if you want to learn to swear, go fishing, go whitebaiting.
Yeah, Paul Wilson's my name. I live at Hunts Beach, have done all my life. My family's lived here for several generations. This is one of our favoured spots for the whitebaiting in this particular river, the Manakaiaua. Catches in sort of my life started in the 50s, probably was measured more in tonnes than kilos. The inanga were the targeted species.
I've seen them run in the Paringa in a blue strip, a good ½ metre wide, for 3 days, day and night.
Yeah, there's a lot less now than what they used to be. Lot less. I mean, my brother and I got 17 butter boxes in the flood. About that long, I suppose, and about that deep, 40-pound butter box. A small catch would be 6 boxes.
The first time I came down to fish, I had a little net about the size of this one here, and I could see the whitebait coming. They were that thick in the river that some of them was out of the water on the other one's backs. And I thought, I'm going to get a lot of whitebait. When I lifted the net, there was not one in it. The net was too small, and they must have went around it. From then on, when Hick and I fished and we learned how to fish, we'd get 200 pound some days.
My grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, myself, and my auntie, she caught bugger all. She fell in the river 3 times, that was about all. We caught 11 tonne, So, but we weren't the only ones. I mean, so there's other rivers, but there was only 16 fishermen on the riverbed.
It used to be so plentiful, they used to use it for manure for the gardens. To get beautiful veggies, potatoes like that.
There were some tricks that were used by the old people, the traditional way of catching them, and which worked really well. They'd trench the riverbed beside a rapid and dig a hollow at the head of the rapid, and they used woven flax mats weighted down with stones. The fish, when they come up the rapids, they tend to tire. When they'd hit the still water of the deep hole, they'd drop into the bottom of the hole and rest there, and the old people would pick the mats up and take the whitebait away.
This little net was made for my grandson. I think the cats have been at this in the shed. It's made out of supple jacks, and this around there is the binder, and that's calico, and this around there is whitebait netting. And he really enjoyed it, our grandson.
The prices weren't flashed by today's prices, but there was the quantity. It was all about the quantity back then.
Once down the front, after they got what they wanted, they'd take the nets out and let the back ones have a go, but they don't do that today.
The whitebait factory started at Bruce Bay around about 1941 and finished about 1943. They paid by the per pound. The ladies of the area, mainly ladies, worked in the factory. They were canned, cooked, sealed and all that business done properly, and put into boxes, and the boxes then were exported overseas.
No, there was no freezers, no fridges, no nothing in those days. So as soon as you caught the whitebait, you used to put it on the train that night to send it to Christchurch.
It was caught on the day, tipped into live boxes and floated until the transport was due in, and then they'd pull it out and box it up, drain it and box it up, and get it on the freighter within an hour or two, and then it would go over to Christchurch and be sold on a market over there.
Your dad and them made a lot of money. £2, I can remember he had heaps of them in the drawer.
It was all about the Christmas for us kids. It was to try and get some money in the bank.
I know someone, I won't say who, but they made 25,000, not last year, the year before, out of the whitebait.
Then the advent of freezers changed the way the fishing went. It meant that their little bits of fish could be put in the freezer and preserved. You know, you fished just the tide and that was it. Now they fish from daylight to dark. So it's changed everything.
I can remember my father, he used to dry it, put it on a sheet of iron and dry it, and then the kids used to chew it like chewing gum.
No, well, I suppose when we were kids we ate that many whitebait. You used to have whitebait, curried whitebait, steamed whitebait, you name it, we used to have it. But today it wouldn't bother me if I'd ever seen a whitebait. I cook them for me kids and that, but...
Out of the water and into the pan, just what we called loose whitebait, cooked traditionally with just a knob of butter and fried, very quickly fried and then eaten straight out of the water.
It's a good life. I love to fish it. The only thing is I can't get down the river today to fish.
Oh, well, it might be a good season this year. We might get a feed.
About bloody time.